Hello there. Welcome to yet another demo session. Welcome to Tizisha. Tizisha is a learning and development platform. So we initially had another session where we were able to cover the full walkthrough, but on desktop. But now in today's session, I want us to cover now how you can do all that on your mobile devices, and this is for both creators and learners. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Tizisha is mobile first. So everything you can do on the desktop, you can be able to do on mobile device. If you're a creator, you should be able to create your courses or content and manage your content, view metrics and such kind of data just on your mobile device. You don't have to maybe switch to your desktop. It's in the case where maybe where you don't have access to your desktop, right? Yeah, so today we are going to look at how you can navigate through the app on your mobile device. And yeah, so we are going to start with the learner journey, and then we'll transition now to the creator and see how all this content came to life. So on this page you're seeing right now, so this is basically how the Tizisha app will look on your mobile device. So this is your phone. This is how it will look like. So for the learner, you can see we have this logging page, but ideally, once you've been onboarded to an organization, all you have to do is just click on sign up here. And yeah, you'll get a link sent to you via email, and all you have to do now is just click on the link, and it should redirect you to the web app. Or if you want to download the app from Play Store, you'll also get an option to do that. So for the sign up, you can add your full name there. That's a required field. Then you get to choose whether you want to sign up using your email or phone number. So if you choose email, you just add your password and you should be good to go. If you choose mobile number, you'll have to verify the phone number. You'll get a code sent over to you via WhatsApp. So let's say, for instance, I select here. Okay, let me just show you. So I need to add name here. So if I hit sign up, since I added my phone number, you see that it prompts me to enter the verification code that has been sent to this number. So you'll get a code sent over to your WhatsApp, and you should be able to add that here and click on verify phone number, and just like that you should be able now to log in. So after you've done the verification, you'll be redirected now to the login page. Okay, cool. So that's just what you have to do on the sign up. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you can choose to maybe not add the email, add the phone number alone, or add the email and omit the phone number. It's you to choose. Okay, so let's proceed to login. So I'm going to log in as a learner. So what I'm doing now is just the similar experience you'll have on your mobile device. Yeah, so once you're logged in, at this very top section, you get to see the organizations you've been onboarded to. You can belong to different organizations, right? So you get to see now the organizations you belong to, and you can switch over to the organization you want, right? And just below the my organization, we have the modules section. So modules is basically like a bucket that helps you group courses that maybe have related content together. So let's say in the organization there's a sales team, so you as the learner, you'll be able to see if the creator restricts you to only see the sales modules. For instance, if I click on sales here, I should be able to see only the courses that are listed inside that specific module. So modules are, yeah, that's the explanation for modules, just a bucket that helps you group courses that are related. So yeah, this just below your my organization, you get to see the modules here and the courses for that module, so on. So this is the experience on your mobile device. This is how everything will appear on your mobile phone. Okay, so I want us to just take a course here. So let's find one that we've not taken. So we have this mastering corporate training. You can see the completion here is 0%. So on these course cards, You are able to see the thumbnail for the course. You're able to see the course name. You're able to see the number of lessons inside the course, the number of quizzes inside the course, and if it's been configured to offer certificates upon completion. Again, this is done by the creator. If they wish to offer certificates, they can do that configuration on their end. So you as the learner, you're able to see which courses have certificates and which courses don't, right? So you're able to see, even before you start, you're able to see all the content you should go through. So here we know we now have 2 lessons and 1 quiz. Okay, so I'll hit the view course, and yeah, you get, after I hit the view course, now you get to see the lessons that are listed inside that specific course. So I'll click on start lesson. I'll start with the first one. So I'll click on start lesson, and now you get to see these slides. So these are the slides. So on your mobile device, you can choose the arrows, or you can just swipe. You can just swipe to the right, and you should be able now to navigate through this. So I'll quickly go through this. So you can see we have 14 slides for this one. So so this will be your experience with the mobile devices. So if I navigate quickly through this, and you can see that for each slide, we have, if you look at the top right section of the screen, you get to see we have this message icon. So you can add comments to different lesson slides. So let's say if I click on this, I should be able to add a comment. Let's add something here and maybe say, this was so informative. If I click post now, so everybody who has access to this course will be in a position to see this, and they'll get a notification that, oh, so and so has actually pushed a discussion for the particular slide. So if you want to see this where the slide is for, or rather what this text is for, what slide, you just click on this message icon again, and it takes you back to the lesson slide that you added the comment to. So even other people or other learners who logged in, they'll just click on this, or rather once they just click on the notification icon and see the conversation, they'll just click again on this, and they'll be able to see, oh, so this conversation was as a result of this lesson slide. So you get to see what lesson slide has that specific conversation going on. Okay, so again, I'll proceed to navigate through all this. Yeah, so once we get to the very last slide, we have some buttons here. So we have the mark as complete. You can restart at the next lesson. So always make sure to click on mark as complete. So what this does, it just registers your completion to 100%, right? So if you maybe navigate to the next lesson without clicking this, it might read 99%. And what that means is, if this course has a certificate, you won't be able to get that certificate, because you have to achieve you have to meet the 100% mark. So any course you have to, or rather any lesson, you have to click on mark as complete for that to be registered as 100% completion. So that's what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to click on mark as complete. Yeah, so you can see the status for this copy of tools and technology for virtual training. This has changed to now 100%, and now we can navigate to the next one, which is training needs analysis. Again, you see this one also has 14 slides. This was basically just a duplicate of the first lesson. So I can quickly navigate through this, and you get to see, again, you'll just see this on your mobile device, that you'll just notice we have this message icon, and you can add comments to it. So again, I'll quickly navigate through all this. Yeah, so now you get to see there's something a bit different here. We have a button we didn't have for the other lesson, which is take quiz. So every lesson that has a quiz, at the very end of the lesson slide, or after the last slide, you'll get the take quiz button. Again, this is very important for lessons that have quizzes. It's very important to take the quiz, because only then will that lesson be registered as 100% complete. Now, for instance, if we click on mark as complete for this one, we won't get 100% completion, because we actually skipped the quiz, right? So always take the quiz. So I'll click on quiz here, and so it's a multiple choice kind of quiz. So I'll quickly add these ones. So you can see now that on the first attempt, we actually failed and got 60%. But at the top here, you can see we have a minimum requirement, right? Which is 80%. So we allow you to retry till you're able to now meet the minimum requirement. So I'm going to hit on retry quiz here. And so actually something I forgot to mention, you have to meet the minimum requirement for it to also be registered as 100%, right? So if you fail, and we have a certificate, you would be able to get that certificate. So it's always important to make sure you meet the minimum requirement. So again, I'll take this quiz again. So we should be able to get yeah, so you can see on the second attempt we got 100% and we met the minimum requirement. So we don't need to retry the quiz because we actually met the minimum requirement. So I'll just click on this arrow here to navigate back. Yeah, and you can notice that initially we didn't have this certificate icon or link here. So it's now populated or appeared because we've actually completed this. So you can see here we have course completion 100%. So what this means is now we can download our certificate since we've met the minimum requirement, and our course can have very many lessons. This one only has 2 because I created a dummy one for demo, but you can have as many lessons as you want, and you can link them to different quizzes. Yeah, so yeah, the completion will be based on how far they've gone with the specific lessons. And we also have another tab here. Of course, this is for quizzes. So if I navigate here, I'm able to see this quiz called Master. My best score was 100%, and I was able to complete this. And I can also view quiz again. So the next step here will be to download our certificate since we made the minimum requirement. So I'm going to click here, and you can see we took this course called Mastering Corporate Training. And you can see now we do actually have now our certificate. So I'll click on download certificate. And now if I pop this up, yeah, so you can see now this is how the certificate will look like. So the organization logo will appear here, your name, the learner who's actually completed that specific course will appear here. So Alan has successfully completed the name of the course here, and we have a sign of signature. Don't mind this icon. You can actually the creator will definitely put an actual signature here. Then the name of the person issuing this certificate. So this could be the person who created the course, and the name of now, or rather the title they hold inside the organization. If they are a HR lead or if they lead sales, it could be anything. So they'll also put their title here, so you should be able to see. Yeah, so you can download this and have this certificate if you maybe need to use it later. Okay, so let's go back. Yeah, so if you click on this hamburger icon here, if you look at the top left of my screen, we have this icon. So if I click on this, you get to see we have different features or different sections to navigate through. So the explore was the first one we saw, where you're able to see your organization, your modules, and all the courses. Then if I click here again, we have the my courses. So let me just show you what appears on the my courses. So let's say as a learner you want to prioritize the courses that you want to take first, right? And maybe you have so many courses to take, or rather, yeah, many courses that have many lessons to take. So you want to prioritize some courses over others. So what you can do now, let me just go and navigate to the course we just did. Yeah, here we go. So we have this Mastering Corporate Trading. So I can click on view course here. And again, just on the top right of my screen, you can see we have this save option, right? Just below the bell notification. So if I save this, what this does, it adds this course to my courses. And next time I'm coming here, I'll just click. If I want to navigate quicker next time, if maybe the organization has so many courses, right, and you have access to all of them, but there are the ones, there are those that you want to finish first. So I'll click here and go to my courses, and you can see now the mastering corporate training has been added here. So you can be able to, what saving does, it just adds that to my courses, so that just makes your work easy if you want to navigate to specific courses quicker the next time you're logged in. Okay, then we do have my organizations here. So this just lists the different organizations you belong to. So you can belong to multiple organizations, right? So you can belong to, there's no limit for this. So all the organizations you've been onboarded to will be listed on this section of the platform. So again, if I click on this hamburger icon again, if I go to achievements, achievements basically highlights all the certificates I've been able to get, or all the achievements I've been able to achieve. So if you look here, I have 3 certificates. So all your certificates will be listed on this section. And of course, we have, if you need to add this certificate to a LinkedIn, so I can click on add to LinkedIn, and you should get this step by step. It's a short process that you should be able to add this certificate to your LinkedIn. Okay, so that's that. Then of course we have the profile, where you can maybe edit your profile, your email, phone number, and so on. Then we have the logout page. So this is where you are able to log out of the platform. Okay. And we have another link here that just opens another section where you get to see more about the platform. So if you click on learn about Tizisha, what this does just basically redirects you to the website. So you get to see all the information on the website. Okay, so that's what you see on this sidebar. So for the sidebar to pop up again, all you have to do is click on this hamburger icon on your screen. So let me go back to the explore page. And you remember initially I had mentioned that now you can add a conversation in the different lesson slides, right? So if maybe another learner added, what you'll do is that you'll just come to this bell notification, and it should have that a green dot here, just signifying that you have some unread messages. So yeah, so if I click here, I'm able to see the conversations, and they'll be listed from the most recent to the oldest conversation, right? So the most recent will be at the top, and the oldest conversation will be at the bottom, if there are multiple, that is. So for this one, you only have one. So if I click on this, it should redirect me to that specific chat, or rather that discussion, and it's highlighted in green, so I'm able to see what I was clicking for. So for this case, we were seeing Jimmy Franklin, who is the moderator. So moderator basically means this is the creator. So you're able to distinguish between your maybe fellow learners or fellow colleagues and the actual creators who are creating the content. So they are labeled as moderators. Then you can see now the learners don't have a label, so that just signifies that they are the learners. Okay, so yeah, that's how you go about it. And if I click again on this message icon, it will now take me to see which slide this conversation was for, right? So if I click here, I'm able to see, oh, these comments were based on this lesson slide. And if I click back again, I go back to the conversation. Okay, and you can reply. So if I hit reply here, I can add some text, maybe let's say nice, and everybody who has access to this course again will get a notification, right? Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to my explore page. Yeah, so that's the learner experience on your mobile device. So that's you as the learner, that's what you get to experience on your mobile device. We are mobile fast, so you don't have to worry if maybe you're on the go and you need to take some courses. Maybe you're traveling and you need to take some courses. It should be so easy for you. Yeah, so that's the learner journey on the mobile device. So I would want us to now transition to the creator platform. so that I get to show now how you create content and how you manage things like metrics on your mobile device. So I'll navigate now to the creator platform. So what you're looking at now is the creator platform. So again, for the sidebar to pop up on your mobile device, you just have to click on this hamburger icon. It has the text menu. So if I click here, you can see now this just shows up on my sidebar on the left side of my screen. So I can see all the features, right? I can see courses, I can see modules, quizzes, metrics, groups, discussions, learners, editors, and personal organization settings, SSO, single sign-on, then the webhook and billing. Okay, so what I'd want us to do, we'll go into detail for all this. So what I'd want us to do first is now create a course, right? So I'll click here, and you'll see we have a drop down here. So actually something I want to mention is that now Tizisha is Scorm compatible, and what I mean by that is we allow now editors or creators to just import Scorm courses. So you should be able to import Scorm courses from this section. Scorm is basically the industry's most trusted e-learning standard. So yeah, you can have your courses onboarded here. So if you don't need to keep recreating content and you have that content ready somewhere, you can have you have that content in Scorm. You can have that uploaded here. So we have three options. Of course, we have create course from scratch. This is if you have your own material. Let's say you have your own videos, you have your own text, you have your own PDFs. You can just go for this option. And as I mentioned, you can import or rather you can upload Scorm courses here. Then we have create course from library. So yeah, so we have a library that just basically helps you, gives you templates that you should be able to now go ahead and edit, right? So I'll click on create course from scratch first. Let's go through this one. And the first thing here is you'll get a prompt to add your course name and course description. I had created something earlier. So what I'll do here is I'll just copy this. I had created some course here. I'll add the course name here. I'll just paste that here, and the course description again, I'll copy this one and I'll paste that on this section of the platform, right? So you can just if you don't see everything, you can just slide this over to make sure everything is in place. And once you're content with everything, you can now proceed to create course. So what happens now is you'll get redirected to the slide editor where you're able to, this is basically the interactive bit of the platform, or what your learners will be interacting with. So here is where you create now the actual content, right? So if you look at the bottom of your screen, of course, this differs while you're on desktop. I know for most of us, you've noticed that these block components are on the right side of your screen, but on mobile, they'll be just listed down here, right? So we have different, so you can see we have text, we have image, we have video, audio, PDF, polls, text input, and the slide color. So this is the slide outline feature we had on the desktop as well. So what I can do here now, let me not reorder. Okay, so let's maybe add our first slide. So maybe let's say we want the first one to have text. So what we do, we just click. So you remember now while we were on the desktop, you just had to drag and drop. But now on mobile, you just click on that block component and you should be able to edit. So this is our working space here. So what I'll do, I'll copy the text we already have here. So let's have this one. Okay. Then we'll paste that here. And once we are done, we'll cancel this, and then if you remove that working space, you should be able to now get access to the other block component. So let's add an image to this one. I'll just click on image, and you'll notice there are some images that are already populating here. So what the platform does, any media file you use, it could be a video, it could be an audio, it could be an image, any media file you use, the platform just saves it in like a gallery, so you don't have to keep re-uploading each time you need to maybe reuse it in a different course, right? So any media file you use once or upload once is automatically saved for you, so the next time maybe you need to reuse it, you don't have to maybe keep uploading. But if you don't have any media file, you just click on upload image here. So you can see we have a section to upload image here, so you can see even the different formats for the images that are supported. So if I click this one, I'm able to get redirected to my device, and I should be able to select an image of my choice, right? So it's that easy. So once you select, just click open and you should be able to upload that. So for this case, I'll just reuse again these images that are already here. I won't keep re-uploading. Okay. Yeah, so that's one slide. You can have as many block components in a single slide as you want, but for the sake of neatness, I just want us to use these two for now, and we can create another slide with other different block components. So what I mean by that is I can also maybe add a video here, right? So again, you can see we have some media files, so some videos that are already saved here. These are the ones maybe I saved or I recorded during a live lesson. So even the live lesson feature, which we'll dive into in a few, if you record a live lesson, that should also be able to get saved, and it should appear under your videos, right? So it will just populate in the gallery. So for this case, let's use this one. So you get to see that we can have different block components in one single slide. So for this case now we have 3, and you can have more. Then we do have now, let me just scroll through this section. We have the slide color, right? So this is the slide background, so I can edit and add some color to this. So you can see if I add orange, this just helps you to maybe add some aesthetics, or there's a color scheme for your courses. Yeah, this is the section where you do all that. So we can have that color, and once you're done, if you want to now see your block components again, all you have to do is just cancel this, and again you can get to see that you have access to your your block components. Okay, cool. So what you do if you want to create now another slide, right? So this is only one, so you'll just click on this plus icon here. So you get to see we have this icon looking like a sheet with a plus icon. So if I click here, it gives me a pop-up down here, so I can create new slides from PDF, new blank slide, new slide from template. So I want to create a new blank slide, so I select new blank slide, and now we can get to repeat the process over and over again. Maybe this time we can have a poll, so I'll just click on poll, and this is your working space, right? So here is where you make the edits down here. Then those edits will just automatically reflect on this top section, right? So maybe I can ask guys, let's see, maybe what's your favorite color? Then we can give them options to choose from. So of course you'll customize this depending on the questions you want to ask. This is just a demo, so I'm randomizing this question. So we have green, red, and we can have orange. Okay, that's cool. So you can see every edit we are making down here is reflecting at this top section. Then we have a toggle here. So what this does is, maybe we had posted this poll, we already got the feedback we needed, right? And we want to hide this now from the learners. If we toggle this on, this will be hidden now from the learners. The learners will no longer see this poll, but we can still get feedback. We can still view the feedback, the previous feedback we had initially from the results for this poll. So yeah, that's basically what this toggle does. So you can pull that back off, and you can add options. So let's say you want to give them more options, you can just click add option, and maybe we can add, let's add maybe maroon. Yeah, so, and you can delete. So you can see on this section you get to have the option to to do away with either of these options. Okay, so as I mentioned, once you're done doing the poll, you now just cancel from here, and again you get to have access to your blog components again. So now maybe let's add a text input, right? So you get to see now we have added another blog component, and this is just to ask them a question where they'll actually be needed to type in their response instead of choosing, right? So maybe we can ask them, let's see, what do you think of this course? Maybe they can share their thoughts here, and maybe we can also edit this. We can also have the placeholder with the same text. So what do you think? Here we go. Then we give them maximum characters allowed. So let's say you want to limit the responses to 50 characters. You don't want them to type a whole paragraph, right? So you want to give them a limit. You can give them a limit. Or if you want that whole paragraph, you can also add the limit here. So maybe we can say 300 characters, right? And just like that, they should be now in a position to add oh sorry, the maximum characters allowed is 264. Forgot to mention that. So you get let's say we put the maximum characters. So you can see if I cancel that, we're able to get they're able to add up to 264 characters. So if you want 50, if you want 40, you can just do the editing from there. And of course we have the slide color here if you wish to add some color. Maybe let's add something not so bright, like gray. Yeah, so this is what they'll see on their end, right? Okay, cool. I want us to add one more slide, one more component, which is now the PDFs, right? So again, the best option for going about this is just click on this at the top section of your screen. Click on this sheet looking this icon looking like a sheet with a plus icon. So I'll just click here, and at the very bottom of your screen you get to see now we have a section to new slides from PDF. Just select this and you should be in a position to upload your PDFs now. So if I click here, I should be redirected to my device, and let me find a PDF here. So here we go. So we can use this one and click create slides from PDF. So what this does, if your PDF has 100 pages, it divides them into different pages, right? So it's not like one long page that they have to scroll through. It divides the pages into different sections, right? So that navigation is even easier and it's not so overwhelming and tedious, right? Okay. Yeah, so if we go back here and we can preview now, right? So if I click on this arrow, you get to see even the PDF pages. So you can see there's a PDF, the first PDF page, the second PDF page. So this is what I mean by dividing the PDF pages into different sections, right? So because if this was one long page, it's boring and overwhelming. So it's better off if it's in this way. So they just slide to the next with ease. So yeah, you get to see that's how we go about that. So if you want to edit again, you navigate back to edit lesson slides and you can proceed doing the rest. So now this is the section you remember on the creator platform we had the section to reorder block components, right? By that I mean let's say we want this video to be the very first block component and the text to go down. So there's a section to do that. This icon here, just this icon just floating on the bottom right of your screen. So just with the 3 lines, just click on this. Then I'll click video and drag it over to the top, and you can see if maybe I remove this, the video now comes to this very top section, right? So this is what we also had on desktop. So as I mentioned, everything you can do on desktop you can do on your mobile device. So yeah, you get to see we can be able to do all that from this section. Okay, cool. Then if you look at this section here, we have some icons here, right? So we have this one that with the eye icon. So what this does, if you want to, if I click here, this will just hide this whole slide, right? So if I don't want learners to see this slide anymore, I can just click on that. And if I want to delete, I just do that, and that should go away. And if I want to duplicate, this is the section to duplicate. So maybe I want another copy of this slide. I'll just click here and I should be able to duplicate that. Yeah, so this is what these three icons here do. So once you're done, so you look at, we have this green icon at the top right of your screen. So this is the publish one, right? So you can publish your lesson from this section. So if I click here, it tells me, would you like to publish this course as well? Of course, we want to publish the course and the lesson because we want the learners to have visibility for both. So I'll say yes. Yeah, and just like that, that's published, and we have our lesson created. So you use these arrows to navigate back. I hope you can see my screen on the very where I'm hovering around. We have this back arrow here. So this is where you get to navigate back. Then of course, so what the platform does, once you've created the course name and the course description, you notice it just redirected us to the slide editor, but it created a lesson name and a lesson description which are dummy. Like this one, it called our lesson 1, and called our lesson description as lesson 1 description. Of course, this is not our actual lesson name, so you can just go in here and edit this. So again, I'll copy what I had here. So we had this, so I'll just bring that back here. So to save that, just click on this tick and that should be saved. Then the lesson description, again, we'll do away with this. And now we can copy something here. So let's do this one. Okay, that looks okay. So you can just to read everything, you just scroll through all this and click on this. Yeah, so we are done creating our course. It only has one lesson, so you can create multiple lessons for this. So you can see the status here reads live. So that just basically means whoever we onboard onto the platform and give them access to this, they should be in a position to see it. Okay. You'll notice still on this page, we have this bell notification here. So what this does is, if a learner starts a discussion or a conversation, so different, let's say we had like 10 lesson slides, right? So if a learner starts a conversation in either of the lesson slides, you get this, you just click here, and you'll see the discussion notifications. They are arranged in this order, so from the most recent to the oldest conversation. And if you have a longer queue of conversation, of course, you can just click show previous, so you can see all the conversations on there. So if maybe I'll click on this one that we just added recently 19 minutes ago, we get to see now that conversation, the whole lesson discussion highlighted in this section. So you can see this guy called Kianja pushed a message 31 minutes ago. Okay. So again, navigate back here. So we've just ideally gone, oh sorry about that, we've just gone to the discussions. Let me close this one. Yeah, so if you click here, you get to see now that our conversation is the one we clicked on, right? So the 19 minutes ago conversation is highlighted in green, so that you get to see which conversation you're actually you have actually clicked to, so you're able to see that. So this is the conversation tab. Then we have the slide preview tab. So this just shows, oh, this conversation, what slide was it for? So if I click on slide preview, I'm able to see, oh, this conversation was actually from for this specific lesson slide. So I'm able to know where this conversation is, or rather the context of this conversation is this lesson slide. Okay, cool. So now I don't want us to navigate back. Yeah, we're back here. Okay, yeah, so that's how you do that. You can send a broadcast. So what this does, it sends a message over to the first slide of a course or the first slide of the lesson, right? So if I click here, I can add a message, and this is what, if I click on the bell notification, the learners now, they'll see this message at the first page of the course, right? So this will be displayed on the first page of the lesson. So I can say maybe please complete this course and send that over. So now you get to see we have an additional tab here, so it's just for the discussions again. So what happens is that text we've just sent as broadcast will be the first thing the learner sees once they've clicked on view course. So that will be the first message that will be displayed on the first lesson slide. Then they can proceed to finish or complete the lessons. Okay. We've covered everything here. Then we do have the lesson feedback. You remember we had block components for the polls and the text input. This is where you should be able to see that. So like for instance, the polls, we do have them here, so you get to see the responses. So okay, for this one we just created it recently, so we don't have responses for this, so they're all reading 0. But if you have responses, you can be able to see. And if you want to see the learners who actually gave those responses, you should be able to see their names and the response and everything. So like here we have, these are the learners we've onboarded on the platform, so you get to navigate through and see which learner actually gave a comment and who didn't. So you're able to see, or not a comment really, but who selected an option from our poll or gives some feedback on that. So you can navigate through this. So this is the learner view. Then we have the feedback options. The feedback options view, you get to see that is basically a summary, right? So if 5 people chose red, so you get to see 5 responses, and this will be 100% complete. Okay, we're done going through that, the Scratch, creating courses from scratch. So this is the section, again, if you look at this section here, just above our first lesson, you can see this card has a duplicate option. So you can duplicate in this exact same course. So we can duplicate here, and you can also duplicate on a different course. So let's say there's another course that shares kind of similar content with this course, so you don't want to keep recreating the content all over again. So if you click here, you can be able to select which course you want to duplicate that to. So this is the section where you should be able to do that. This is just like 2 clicks and you should be good to go. Just select and you'll be redirected to that specific course. So we don't want to duplicate that for now. So this is the section to add a thumbnail. So we've already created our course, right? We can add a thumbnail here. So allow me to just upload an image for our thumbnail. So I'll select this one and click upload image. I think by now you get how easy it is to use this tool or this platform on the mobile phone. It's so similar to what you do on desktop, so there's not much of a difference. Maybe just the screen size, that would be the only difference, because everything is quite similar to what you do on your desktop. Okay, now we can navigate to the course settings. So this is the section where if maybe you want to add, and for us to maybe get a better understanding for this, let me duplicate this so that we have two lessons. So I've duplicated it, and I'll click publish, and I'll navigate back. So you can see now we have two lessons, right? So we have understanding the role of a trainer and the copy of this specific lesson. So the reason why I've done that is because I want to give a bit context of how this feature called of enforcing completion of mandatory lessons. So if I put this on, or if I click on this checkbox and click Save Settings, so what happens is this lesson called Copy of Understanding the Role of a Trainer will be blocked, right? So the only way this will be unblocked or will be unlocked for the learner to have access to it is if they meet 100% completion on this first one. So that just basically makes them or forces them to finish this first for them to get access to this. So yeah, that's basically what now the enforce completion of mandatory lessons does. Right on this section, we have another tab for certificates. So if you want to configure your courses to offer certificates upon completion, this is the section to do just that. So now what I'm gonna do is click on this, and you can now upload your sign-off signature. You remember when I was taking you through the learner journey, we had that certificate with the sign-off signature, name of issuer, and the title or position of the issuer inside the organization. So this is the section where you should be able to do that. So if I click on click to upload, I should be able to upload my signature there. Then the name of the issuer, the title, maybe we can say this guy, we can still call him John Doe. Then we can say maybe he's the sales lead, right? Then you can click on save certificate settings. So that will be good to go, and you can view an example of the Tizisha certificate, right? So if you click this, it'll just give you a sample. It should download and give you such a sample where you should be able to see that. Okay, cool. So to close this again, you just click on this cancel button here, and you should be good to go. So if you want to create another lesson, just click on create lesson here, and you should be in a position to create another lesson. You go through the same process we did all over again. Okay, then before we finalize on this one, of course we have the reorder lessons. This just helps you to, maybe if I click on this, I'm able to position this how I want them to appear. In what order do I want these ones to appear? So let's say I want the copy to be the first one. So I drag it over to the top and click save order. Okay. Now we have a very interesting feature called the live lesson. So this is the section. This is the feature that enables you to have a session in real time, right, with your learners. So now, let's say you want to join. It's kind of what you do on maybe on a Zoom call or Google Meet. So you are able to have a live lesson inside the Tizisha platform, right? And this is on your mobile device, same thing you do on your desktop. So I'll click on live lesson. And you'll notice immediately I click on live lesson, my camera is opened. Of course, it will give you a prompt to allow the necessary permissions. Of course, it will ask you to allow Tizisha to have access to your microphone, have access to your video. So you'll give the necessary permissions. So we have two controls here. You can put the camera on and off, or the audio, you can also put that on and off. So just before we get started, if you wish to share a link for someone to join this live lesson, you can just click here and copy the link and share it over to someone. So what happens is the person you've shared this link to, if they click on the link, they'll just be redirected to this live lesson and they should be able to join. Or if you're in a boardroom and you need to share the QR code with someone or with many people, you can just download this QR code and have them scan it, and they should be in a position to join. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, let me first, let me cancel this mic so that we don't have conflicting voices. So we do have the record session, and what this does, if I toggle this on, right? Let me just also mute that for now. So if you record session here, what this does is, let's say there are some learners who've actually missed this live lesson, right? And you still want them to have access to it later on. So what happens is, if I start recording, right? This will, after the session, maybe it's a 1 hour long live lesson, afterwards the platform will just automatically save it for us, right? So other learners who maybe missed this session should be in a position to come back to the platform and have access to this live lesson. Okay, so I believe that's well captured. So let's start live lesson. Okay, you'll see that we do now have an additional control, which is now the exit button, right? So you can exit the call from this section. And you can see we have this status that says recording. That just means we are actually recording this session and we are live, right? So I just want to show you how the learner will be able to know that there's actually a live lesson. So let me navigate to the learner app. Not that one. Here we go. So let's see which course is this. Oh, this is the new course we just created. So if I come here, what name did we give? Let's see. We should be able to see our newly uploaded course here. Let's see the name we gave this one. We called it the Complete Trainers Toolkit. Okay, so let's see where that is. Here we go. So we do have this one here. So what the learner will do if the course is actually having a live lesson, they click on view course. And now you see we have this red notification up here that says join live lesson. So this basically means there's a live lesson going on. So if they click here, again, they'll get their two controls here where they should be able to give the necessary permissions and just click on join live, right? So it prompts them that recording is in progress. So if they wish to stay or they're not comfortable maybe being in a recorded session, it just basically kind of asks for consent. So if they wish to stay or leave, they can choose to. So for this case, we'll just stay. And you'll see now, maybe if I put this back on, you'll see now me as the learner here, the host is, you're able to see who is the host. So it's Jimmy and we have a tag for them. So you're able to distinguish who is a fellow learner or who is a host. If there are multiple editors on this live session, so we'll have the first one as the host, then the others will be labeled as co-hosts, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's how you go about this, and you can have the conversation going on the live lesson, and once you're done, all you have to do is the learner now is just exit. So you can exit, and this will still be on though, but the creator has to exit on their end. So I'll exit here. Okay, let me just join back so that I show you that the creator can still see you on their end. Yeah, so you see here's the learner is down here. So if the session is over, we can end it here. So I'll say yes. So if I do that and go back to the learner, you'll notice they can also exit. So you see now the host is no longer in the call, they can exit. And this red notification will disappear because we don't have a live lesson anymore, right? Yeah, so that's the bit for the live lesson. Okay, so what you do now, we've covered everything about creating a course from scratch, so we can navigate back. So that's one method. So we also have another one, which is create course from Scorm, as I mentioned earlier. So what you get to see here is you get to see this pop-up that allows you to add your course name, description, pass mark, and the Scorm version and the Scorm package. So ideally for Scorm, you just download the package is a zip file and you should be able to upload. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, Scorm is the industry's most trusted e-learning standard. So the courses follow a specific standard for them to get into the Scorm, for them to meet the Scorm requirements. So I'll add a course name here. Maybe let's call this new Scorm New Scorm. Okay, rather let's call this Windows 10, because I actually have a package I downloaded earlier for a Windows 10 tutorial, right? So we can have the course description as Windows 10 tutorial. So you can download the Scorm packages on different providers that have those packages. Then the pass mark will have 80. Then we have the Scorm versioning. So here is where you get to select the Scorm version you're working with. So we support Scorm version 1.2 and 2004. So depending on the Scorm package you select, you should be in a position to select the Scorm version. So for our case, let's use version 1.2, and now we can proceed to upload our package. So I'll click this. Let me find that package. So it should be somewhere down here for the Windows 10. Yeah, here it is. So it's a zip file, as you can see. I'll click open and create course from Scorm. I'll click this. So you can see we have this green status that just shows you how far you are to completion for the upload. So again, this is fully dependent on the size. So the larger the Scorm course, maybe the more time it will take, but it doesn't take that long. So you can see now we do have our Scorm course for Windows 10 uploaded. So it's just that easy. You don't have to do much. The work you have to do is just upload and publish, and maybe add a thumbnail. So we can add a thumbnail here, just as we did while creating a course from scratch. Then let me just publish this so that it's live. Yeah, so that's what you can do. You can see we have some buttons here. Update Scorm content. What this does, it just basically overrides, right? So if I click on update Scorm content and upload another Scorm package, it will overwrite this one that we initially had, and the new package we've installed or uploaded will now be the one displayed on this section. So that's basically what this button does. And of course, we do have the course settings. You can navigate this and maybe offer certificates upon completion, as we mentioned earlier. Okay, yeah, so that's ideally it for the Scorm. It's just like you just do like 2 clicks and you're good to go. There's no much you need to do for the Scorm packages. Okay, so you can see now our Windows 10 Scorm course is here. We didn't add a thumbnail, that's why it doesn't have one, but yeah. So the last option now is create course from library, right? So if I click on this, so you get to see we have these different templates here. And what you have to do, if let's say you get these different templates, and what I said earlier is your work here will just be basically editing these templates. So if I import one of these, so it should be okay. Let me just import that again. Where is it? Sales excellence training. Yeah, so if I scroll, I should see it. Here we go. So it's this one. So if I click here, yeah, I should be able to edit these different lessons. So you can see it already has some lessons. My work here will just be to do some editing, and it already has its own images, its own text. So my work will just be to click on edit lesson slides and maybe add my preferred content. It's kind of similar to what we did with creating course from scratch, only that now you get a template where you can edit, right? Yeah, so yeah, there's nothing, there's not much of a difference with this. It gives you already filled out templates. If maybe they meet the thing, let's say like this one, let's just go back. This one is called Sales Excellence Training Program. Maybe this is the kind of course you wanted to create, right? And everything added in these lessons, lessons is matching what you'd want to add to your course. So you basically don't have to do any editing for that matter. You can just let things be as they are. So if you read through these templates and see things are matching the content you are trying, or the message you are trying to push out to your learners or to your members of staff, you just leave it at that, because some they follow a standard, so they could be good for you to go, but you always have the flexibility to make some edits to this. But if they fit the requirements for your course, just leave them as they are. And of course, you just publish from this section, and yeah, similar settings to what we had for the others. Okay, so now we'll navigate back, and I believe, yeah, we are now done with creating courses. You can see we have a filter here, so if you want to find a course faster, let's say we want to find the one created for Windows 10. So you can see the Windows 10 just populate. This is just a filter to help you navigate through. If you have so many courses, that is, so just helps you to find those courses easily. Then we do have reorder courses here. So ideally, this, once you click on this, it just displays all the courses you have on the platform. So your work essentially here will just be to click and drag over, right? So maybe I want my Windows 10 to be the very first one. I'll just put it there and click on save order. So you can see Windows 10 is the first one, and this is the same order the learners will experience on the learner app, right? So if you have a standard way of how you would like to organize things, that's how you go about it. Okay, so we've fully covered creating courses. So I'll just click on this hamburger icon again, and we'll proceed to now modules. Remember what I mentioned earlier as we were going through the learner app. Modules are like a bucket that help you group related courses together. So if I click on create module here, I get to have an option to, I get this pop-up that allows me to add the module name and the module description. So I can say, let's see, sales module 2.0. Maybe you can say this will get you started on sales. Then I'll click on create module here. So you can see now we are redirected to this page that allows us to manage courses. So if I click here, I should be able to see a list of all the courses I've ever created, right? So here are all my courses. So we have the different pages you can navigate through, and my work will just be to now click on these checkboxes to add these courses inside that module. So I can add maybe sales, this. Okay, I'm just randomizing things. I'm not, but you get the idea. Is you can select the courses you want. So we can have, how many are these? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can have those, and I'll click on update courses here. And now inside this module we've just named sales module 2.0, we can see we have these five courses. And the beauty of it all is we can restrict learners to only, maybe the sales team, we can only restrict them to have access to only this module. Everything else will be hidden from them, and they'll only have access to this. So that's kind of the beauty of having these modules. It just helps you to organize your work better and restrict who doesn't need to have access to this. So maybe the finance guys don't really need to have access to the sales module, right? So this should not be displayed for them. So you can be able to group people, which is another feature which I'll go through as we proceed, and give them access to this specific module just for organizing. Okay. So once you've done that, of course, you can also reorder. This is something we also did for the courses. Then the following thing is always remember to publish your modules or your courses if you want them to be live. So this just, if they are not published, we are the only ones as the creator or as editors, we are the only ones who have access to it. So always remember to publish this. Okay. So that's good to go. So if I come back here, so you can see now our module here, and you can see on these cards we're able to see the module name, the module description, and the number of courses inside that module. So this one has 5, and you can click on this icon to make some edits. So that's all for modules. It's a very short process. Just like that, it should be good to go. So we're going to go to the other feature, which is the quizzes. So you remember, as I was taking you through the Learner app, we had I mentioned that you can have different quizzes on different lessons. So each lesson can have its own independent quiz. So this is the section to do that. What you do now, click on create quiz. You'll get a drop down here to select a course, the course you want to create a quiz for. So now maybe we can do the, let's find one here to just create one that doesn't have yeah, this recent one, the complete trainers toolkit, one that doesn't have a quiz. So I'll click here and you get to see that I'll now have an additional drop down because I mentioned different lessons have different quizzes. So you get to choose which lesson you want to add the quiz for. So I'll choose understanding the role of a trainer. Then add a quiz title. So I can call this trainer quiz. Then this one could be trainer quiz description. Okay. Then pass mark, let's have 80. Then now here is, we have a pre-made template that you should fill your quizzes on. So what you do after filling all this, come and click on download template here. And once you do that, this is how the template looks like. Okay, so this is how the template looks like. So let me just maximize that. Yeah, so if you look at this, we have 3 sections on this tab. We have first the instructions. If you look at the bottom of my screen, so this just guides you on just gives you some instructions on how you're supposed to do this. Then the second tab is a tab for an already made example for you, right? So this is already an already made example. So you get to see we have some fields that are marked as required, right? For these quizzes, you must have at least 2 multiple choice answers. You can have as many as 6, but have at least 2. So you can see the question field is required. Answer A and B are required fields. Then we have the correct answer is also a required field when you choose whether it's A, B, C, or D, or whatever. And we have a follow-up text to reinforce why, maybe if the answer was B, why was B the right answer, right? So it's just a follow-up. And we have a maximum of 120 characters. Of course, the explaining won't be that much. So yeah. So this is an already made example. So you can just this just to help you borrow an idea of how you're supposed to fill. And now this is the section where you go about to actually fill your own questions. So now this is the section where you do that. So you can have your questions here. Question answer A, B, C, D. If you have multiple, then correct answer. The correct answer you don't put in text, you put in the letters. If it's A, you put in A. If it's B, then so on and so forth. Yeah, because if you put words instead of the actual option, if it's A, you'll have a problem uploading. So that's very important. So once you add this, all you have to do is just save. Once you save that, it's a CSV, so it will just automatically save itself as a CSV. So your work will just be to give it a name. Okay, so I had already created a template, or rather a quiz template. So what I'll do, I'll just download that, or rather I'll just upload. Let me find it. Should be somewhere here. So here you go. So I'll select this one, and you can see it's been uploaded. It was not a CSV actually, sorry about that. It was an Excel. Yeah, so once you upload that, you can click on create quiz now, and it will give you a preview of how that looks. So you can see how the quiz will look on the learner side of things, and you can see the next. You can just have a view of how your quizzes look like from this section. You have an option to edit your quiz questions. So if you want to change the quizzes entirely, just click on this, and again you'll just do the filtering of the course and lesson. Then you will go ahead and proceed to upload the file, right? Yeah, so that's what you're gonna do. So I'll cancel this, and this is the section where you view your quiz responses. So if I click here, I'm able to see which learner took on the quiz. Remember, we were also allowing them to retry, so you get to see how many attempts they took, how many skipped questions, if any. If they skipped any questions, you're able to see all that data in a table format. So this is a section where you get to see all that. Yeah, just to explain that better, first of all, before we leave here, I'd like us to publish the quiz. So always remember to publish, because if it's unpublished, then learners won't see it. Okay, that's good. Then you click on this arrow to navigate back. Yeah, so let me see whether there's one that actually had some learners taking. I think this master quiz had some responses. So if I click on quiz response, yeah, so this is what you see. And you can do filtering, so you can filter by learner. So maybe I only want to see for this guy called Kelvin. So I can only see the quiz responses for Kelvin alone, right? So I can see Kelvin took 3 attempts and he got 60 the first attempt, 60 the second, and 100 the last one, right? So you get to see the wrong questions, skipped questions, attempts on the date when they took those attempts, and so on and so forth. You can filter by group. So if you had learners are grouped, so maybe you can check this group, and for this group you can see we didn't have anybody maybe taking on this specific quiz. So yeah, so again I'll click on show all, and if you can click on show all here, so it will just give you an overview of everybody who tried to attempt this. Okay, and you can export this as well. So if you need to export it in an Excel document, you can click on export, and that will be available for you. If maybe you need to reshare it with some colleagues, that's how you go about it. So if you click on export here, let me just show you how that sheet will look like. So you get to see this sheet. So it has the first name, last name, score, wrong questions, skip questions, attempts, quiz pass mark, and the quiz and the pass status here. So yeah, it's basically what you've just looked, but now it's in this file. Okay, so that's that for quizzes. So easy and fast to do. So we'll navigate back to this sidebar, and now let's look at the metrics. So metrics, this is where if you want to have a report, or if you want to see who's been engaging or interacting with my courses, you can be able to see that from a course level and even in a lesson level. What I mean by that is, if you had a course with maybe 10 lessons, you can be able to track engagement for each of the 10 lessons individually, right? And I'll show you how that looks like. So what you have to do first is select the course. So let me try and find a course with some actual metrics. Here, I think the path for healthy living should have some. Then you can see now, again, if you notice, this is the exact same layout you get on your desktop. So when I was saying about mobile first, you get to see what I mean. So yeah, it's so similar to what you're experiencing on the desktop. So let's do a filter. You can filter with the number of days. So let's say you want to check who's been interacting with my content for the last 30 days, 60 days. Quite clearly, we don't have anybody who's been interacting with this one for the last 60 days. So I'll go down to the calendar and maybe check how about the past 1 year. So we can go back to November last year and maybe check on from 5th to this day. So you can see we have actually some data, and this axis just displays the number of learners. So this means 2 learners between this area of this month, April 16th. So to May the 13th, we were able to have some action here of learners engaging. Then we had August, then September, 1 learner, right? So you're able to see this, and you can also export this. So if I click on export, this is what you see. It's just the dates and the views and the course title and yeah, so you get to see the course title up there. So now down here is where you can view things from a course level, right? So you view things at a broader level, so which is courses. So you get to see, like for this one, we had nobody is actually in progress for this course. Nobody has completed this course. All the learners here have not started this course. So what this means is even these learners who came here, they just clicked on view course and they didn't take any action from that. That's what that means. So their completion still reads 0, but they made that effort to click on view course, and that's why we are seeing this data here. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the learners here didn't start, but they clicked on view course, right? So that's the progress summary view. So you get to see this bar chart. And again, you can also export this. But now if you want to check per learner, so we have another view for the learner view. So if I click on this drop down, we have the learner view, right? And here I'm able to see the name of the learners. So I can see this learner Zilani, 0 course progress not started, and all of them are ideally that same position. If you have members in a group, you can check based on that specific group. So maybe I can check this group called test. It only had 2 learners and those 2 learners had not started. Okay. Then we can filter that based on completion. Let's say I want to only check those who completed only. I can come here and click completed. And of course, we don't have anyone. Then we can check in progress. Of course, it's empty because none of these guys took the course. Then if we click not started, we can now see, no, let's show all here so that you see all of them. So we get to see all these 5 learners didn't actually start the course. Okay. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you can export this. Maybe you can export and see what you get to see. Then down here, we do have the learner lesson metrics. So this is where I was talking about. You can also be able to track that per lesson, right? So if I click on this lesson, the foundations of healthy living, again, I'm able to see the view for this. So if I click on this drop down, I'm able to see all the lessons inside that course. So maybe the live lesson, you remember this is the, like, for instance, you remember while you were doing the live lesson, we had recorded. So if you had recorded, it should appear under this section of the platform. So let's see. So we can see this one again, same result, nobody started. But if somebody had completed or in progress, the bar should have been updated. So again, we have the learner view. And again, you can also filter here based on groups. Then now, let's say, okay, plumbing, this one only had 3 learners, nobody started at all. So yeah, you can, if you had group people, you can also track that based on groups, and again based on completion, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, yeah, so that's what you can see on the metrics. So you can track activity of your courses from a course level to a lesson level, or in a in a broader perspective, you can just see the course views. So just these are just people who actually just clicked on view course, and they might not have actually started, but they triggered that view course button, and they will appear on this section of the platform. Okay, so that's it for the metrics. Let's go to groups. So you remember I told you that you can group people and restrict what you want them to have access to and what you don't want them to have access to, right? So this is the section where you should be able to do that. So I'm going to click on create a group. I'll be prompted to add a group name and a group description. So I'll say again, this is just for demo, so I'm creating some dummy groups. Yeah, Cool. So what happens now, you'll notice I have two buttons and I want us to go through the first button here, which is manage learners. So what this does, it enables me to add members into this group now. Anybody you've onboarded on the platform, once you click here, they'll appear, a list of them will appear. And you should be able, so you can see for this platform, we had onboarded 5 learners, right? So maybe I want to add these 3 guys to this group. I can click on update learners. So these 3 members have been added to this group, and I can now do what I was talking about earlier, the restriction that I want them to only have access to some specific courses. So I can click on manage permissions, and I can do the restriction based on modules or based on the courses. So if I only want to give these guys maybe access to this module called training, I'll click on training and edit permissions. And now what happens when these guys log into the learner app, they'll only have access to that module alone. Everything else will be hidden from them. So that's what I was talking about, restricting who has access to what, and yeah, and so on. Again, if you're not doing the restriction on a module level, you can do that on a course level. So if I navigate to course permissions, I get to see all the courses I've ever created. And all I have to do now from this section is select the different courses. Maybe I can give them access to this 4 and click on edit permissions. So these learners will only have access to those 4 courses. And that's how you go about doing the restrictions, managing permissions, and adding learners to a group. That's another very easy feature to use. A few clicks and you should be good to go. Okay, let's look at something else. Then we do obviously have now the discussions. So the creator has 2 ways basically of navigating to the discussions. They can use this, once they click on the hamburger icon here, they can use this option, or they can just, navigate through this bell notification right here. So yeah, they have that option to do that. Sorry, let me navigate here. Yeah, I was here. Yeah, so you get to see a list of all the discussions that are going on in this order from the most recent to the oldest one. So you can see you have this one from 40 minutes ago to 6 months ago. So yeah, that's the order in which those are listed. Yeah, so if maybe for instance, I want to, if I click on this one, I should see that green highlight that shows which conversation I'm looking at. So you can see this has the green highlight as I mentioned earlier. And on the slide preview tab, I'm able to see the context. What conversation was this for? It was for this slide. So yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's how you can navigate to the discussions. The next, we do have learners. This is another section where you get to onboard learners. Again, you'll notice you can't see the full table. All you have to do is just scroll through on your mobile device and you should be able to see all this data. These are learners I've actually onboarded, but I want us to remove them and I just show you how to do that from scratch, right? So what I'm gonna do, this is how you remove learners actually from the platform. You can select one by one, or if you wish to remove all of them, which in this case I want to remove all learners, I just click on this checkbox at the very top. It will remove all of them. So confirm removal, and all these guys have been removed from the organization. So we have 2 ways where you can onboard learners. I want us to start with the bulk invite. So we have the first one, which is the invite learners. This helps you to maybe invite a smaller subset or a smaller group of learners. Could be 5, could be 4. So you'll see, we'll go through it and show you how to do that. But if you have so many learners you want to onboard at once, like you have 100 learners, right? So this is the section, this is the best way to go about it. So I'll click on bulk invite learners, and you'll see we do have a CSV file that you should be able to upload. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna download this. So let me show you how that looks. Let's maximize this. Yeah, so you can see the fields that we have. We have email, first name, last name, country code, and phone number. That's all the information you need. So you can see you can go about adding their emails, their first names, their last names, their country codes, and phone numbers. You can have as many people as you want, of course. There's no limit to this. So once you add these guys, you'll have just to do saving and you should be able to upload. So now I had already created a CSV file, or I had already onboarded some 4 guys to a file. So I'll just show you how that looks. Let me find that CSV file. Here we go. Then I'll click on bulk invite learners. Yeah, so you see I had added 4. So you can see now the 4 are added here. So you can see their details, their bio, their details are highlighted here. And you can, if you navigate through this section, you can see you can edit their data. So maybe you added their first name as first name and last name. You can maybe add some edits to this, or edit their phone number. You can maybe add do all the edits you did from this section. Okay, so you can see we do have 4 learners that we've onboarded with this format, but now I want to show you how to invite learners the other way, which is this other way. If you don't have that, you don't have such a big group of learners, right? So I'll add a few learners here, and you can see we have some explanation on how you're supposed to fill this. So enter email addresses separated by a comma, e.g. add the email, comma, and then add another email. So that's the format which I'm going to do here. Then we can have so if I add this to, yeah, you get to see now this guy called Kianja has been added, right? So that, yeah, that's how you go about adding or inviting learners onto the platform. I believe that's clear enough. So what I want us to do now is this is the editors now. And okay, before we just go to the editors, let me just explain what happens once you do this, right? So we've invited these learners. What happens is they'll get an email notification that so-and-so organization has invited you to be a learner in the organization. And they'll get a link just on the email to just click on it, and they should be redirected to the learner app and the learner web app to sign up and log in. But they'll also have another option to, maybe if they want to download the app from Play Store, they'll also have an option to click on that, and they should be in a position to download the app, do the sign up, log in, and start consuming your content. It's that easy. Okay, then we do have editors. Editors are ideally collaborators, people who help you create content, right? They don't have all the rights you have as an organization owner, which I'll just dive into in a few. They can't, like, for instance, if you add someone as an editor, they can't add other editors. You are the only one who can add other editors as the organization owner, right? And there are other features that you're going to look at that they can't have access to, things like single sign-on webhooks. Those you as the organization owner, you're the only one who can have access to, right? So now inviting is quite similar, just as we've done. Download the CSV file, fill in those fields, save, upload. That easy, just as we've done with the learners, right? And even this one, the invite editors option, same instructions, go through the same instructions, add them, and you should be good to go. So there's not much of a difference between adding editors and learners. It's just the same process. Okay. Then we have settings. So this is where you can do your personal profile settings. So you can edit first name, last name, or your email. I believe that's quite straightforward. Then we do have organization profile, right? So this is where you can do editing. So if you look at the very bottom of this sidebar, we have the organization logo down here. So this is the section where you update the organization logo. So if I click, something I should mention is, if you want to close this, let's say you had opened up, you had popped up this sidebar. If you want to close it again, all you have to do is just click again on the hamburger icon and it will disappear. Yeah, so that's what you have to do. The organization profile, this is where you maybe edit the organization name, and this is where you upload the organization logo, and organization description is here. Okay, and we also have the organization learner app profile link. So we have that link right there. Then we do have SSO. So SSO is single sign-on, and maybe to explain this, maybe let's say in your organization, you have like, of course, you're in a work environment, so you have similar emails. So let's say you have john@xyz.ke or .com, james at xyz.com or .ke. So you have that kind of structure for the emails, right? So what single sign-on does is you can choose to onboard people, and they don't have to do things like setting up passwords and doing that kind of stuff, right? So they can just, once you share them with, for instance, you've onboarded an editor and you want them to, use SSO. This is the link you're going to share with them, right? And first of all, you need to add your client ID here. So depending on your organization, you'll add your client ID on this section of the platform. The client secret key, you'll add that here. Of course, this is some confidential information that you as the in-house team or you as the organization owner should have. Then the authorization URL. So once you add this, so it will just map those people with those specific emails to just sign up or log in without having to add their passwords and everything. So for them to do that though, you have to share, if it's a creator or if it's an editor you're trying to onboard with the SSO, you just copy this link and share it with them directly. Or if you have maybe a Slack channel, just push that over to them. If it's a learner and you want them to, they want to go with a web app, you just copy this link and share it with them. If it's a learner who wants to use the Android, the learner, if the learner web basically means they're maybe on a desktop, but if they're on a mobile device, you can just share this learner Android link, and they should be able to sign up via SSO. I believe that's clear. So SSO basically just eliminates that process of having to, create passwords and doing all that kind of stuff. So once they click on this, as long as they'll just add their email and instantly get redirected to the learner app, or if they are editors, redirected to the editor platform. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll go to the webhook. Webhook is so the webhook configuration helps you. Let's say in your organization there was maybe you are using some other tools, right? And you want, like, what we are able to track with the webhooks at this point in time, the event we are tracking is course completion. So if you want that communication to happen between the tool you were using before Tizisha and Tizisha platform, there can be that communication between the tool you were using and Tizisha. So all you have to do is add your URL and verification token. Of course, I'd say this is the slightly technical bit of this platform, which we can always guide. So let me just show you something. I'm using a tool to just show you what I mean by the event type of course completion, right? So there's a tool here called Mockbin, and what I'll do is just copy this. Once you copy this, I'll bring it here, and once I paste that and create bin, so what happens is it creates this URL, right? And from this URL, anytime a learner completes a course, so let me just show you. I'll copy this. It will generate for me this URL, right? So I'll come and paste this URL to this section of the platform. So once I paste this, I should be able to get that communication of and track the event completion of the courses. So let me just navigate back to show you, because I had already run a couple of this initially to just show you how that looks. Of course, you'll get data if a learner completes a course. So for now, we won't get data because we are using this most recent URL. So I want us to use an older URL that actually had people who had actually completed the courses. So if you look at this one for 3 months ago, you can see the event type you're capturing here is course completion. And again, that can change depending on what you'd want to be tracked. But at this point in time, you're tracking course completion. So we have the course ID. There we go. We have the progress. We have course name. We have course description. We have the learner email, learner first name, learner last name, and the event type. So this is what we are trying to capture at this point in time of the platform, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, if you are using other tools and you need that kind of communication between the tool you were initially using and Tizisha, and you need to track the completion, that's how you go about it. But if you need further support with this, of course, we can always help you. That's for people who've actually been using other tools before maybe coming across Tizisha. Okay. Then we do have billing. So we do have different packages for Tizisha, and for that I might need to redirect you to the website. Maybe before we do that, yeah, let me just take you through the website, sure, in a very fast way. Yeah, we do have these different pricing packages. We do have the starter, we do have growth, pro, and enterprise. So and we have the value proposition for all this. So basically, you see, for all this starter, growth, and pro, you are not limited to anything that's related to content creation, doing such kind of adding modules, all these features here. Ideally, let me just pull that again. You see all these features here, you are not restricted to having access to any of this. So where the difference comes in is now the learners and editors. So you can see the price model, like for starter, is $1.5 per user per month, right? If you come down here, you're able to see for the starter, you can have a maximum of 2 editors and a maximum of 20 learners. So that's the limit for the starter package. And now if you now go to growth, the limit now increases to 60 learners and 5 editors. So these are the people who are helping create the content. Then now we do have the pro, and on the pro now you get unlimited learners and unlimited editors. Like you have no limits to anything, right? Okay. And then of course we do have the enterprise, which you'll have to contact sales. And for this one, you're even assigned a dedicated success manager to help you. Maybe you're having a very large team and you need help in kind of managing the platform and the team. So you get a designated success manager, a dedicated success manager for this. You get a strategic kickoff call. You get this kind of onboarding, premium support, and everything in this other, basically these other tiers of the packages. All right, cool. So yeah, here you get to see your subscription. So like for instance, you can see my account credits here, $77. Billing date, so billing is done after 30 days. Let's say you did sign up on the 1st, so after 30 days is when the billing happens. So yeah, that's how billing happens on Tizisha. Then it shows you your subscription. You can change plan. So like for instance, if you are on a pro, or rather if you are on a pro tier and you wish to downgrade to starter, so of course there's that limit of learners. So you'll get a prompt to maybe tell you need to reduce the number of learners or the number of editors on the platform. If you wish to upgrade from starter to maybe pro, of course you won't get a prompt because you'll just automatically have the liberty to add more editors and add more creators and so on and so forth. Yeah, so your subscription is highlighted here. The billing date, so you get to see when your card will be hit, or rather you'll have to make a payment. Then you have payment details here. So ideally, if you click on change plan here, Okay. So here is where you update your card payments. So you add your card, expiry date, security code, country, then save payment details for future purchases. So you can save these card details so you don't have to keep adding them the next time you're making a payment, right? Then to see your invoices, this is the section where you get to see all your invoices. So any payments you've ever made will be highlighted on this section, and you can download those invoices. Okay, yeah, so that's ideally it for now, the billing. Yeah, so yeah, that's how you navigate through the creator platform. Of course, if you belong to multiple organizations, you can switch between different organizations, right? So if you click here, so for this case I only belong to this one organization, but if you are an admin in different organizations, or if you are an editor in different organizations, you should be in a position to just switch to different organizations, publish content, or maybe just check the activities going on, and so forth, and so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, so that's the full walkthrough of the creator and the learner app. Thank you so much for taking time to listen in. And before we close, I just wanted to redirect you on how you can do a sign up, right? So you go to the platform on the website, which is tizisha.com, then hit sign up. So what happens is you'll get to choose the package. Sorry, let me log out. So you choose the package. Oh no, I need to log out from this completely. Just give me a second. Let that load up real quick. So if I hit sign up now, yeah, so you get to choose the plan you want from the get-go. So immediately you're signing up, you choose the plan you want. First name, last name, organization, email, password, sign up. That's all. And you should now be redirected to such an interface, so you should be able to see. Of course, these sections will be empty for you, but you should be able to see all these features are for you, and you should be able to maybe do everything that I've done. You should be able to do that on your own. Upon sign up, we always do some hand holding. If you need help going through the platform or uploading stuff, we do offer some hand holding, and we can help you get started till to the point where you get comfortable to now start publishing things on your own. Again, thank you so much for making time, and see you on the next one. Bye.